Okay. I'm going to tell one more of the crazy dawn lore from recently. I had a spiritual awakening in May. I don't know if any of you know about that. I had a kundalini awakening. Very intense. I'll tell that story sometime. It's been crazy. It's been crazy since then. But I recently got into buying crystals. And it's funny because my entire life I thought astrology and crystals were just kind of bullshit. To be honest, I really did. And then as I had the spiritual awakening, I realized, oh no, this is real. They're real. Astrology is a real thing. If you want to know what's going to happen to you, check it out. It'll tell you. It literally will. And crystals are real. Like, they have helped me quite a bit. And I didn't expect that. So it's kind of cool to expand your mind and do something you think, okay, well, I don't know about this. I'm always open to change my mind. I'm always open to listen to others' opinions. But this point of the story is I was going to buy some crystals, and I'd already been to one or two places, and I didn't really see anything that kind of spoke to me with my energy. And so I was looking it up, and I live in a small town. So I was looking up different crystal places, and I found one, and it was a normal name, and it just had a phone number. It didn't have any hours, but it said, it showed a picture, and it looked really beautiful. Lots of choices. And it was about 40 minutes from my house, which 40 minutes here is a short drive. Like, it's just short. I drove an hour and a half just to see my counselor today, one way. So I called the number and nobody answers. And so I was like, well, she called back. And I don't really I don't usually answer when people call back, or not, when people call and I don't know the number, but I was like, it's gotta be that person that I just called, because it was a different number. And I answered, and it was her. And she's like, hey, where are you at? And I told her where I was at. And she's like, yeah, come on out. It's at my house. And I was like, what? She's like, the showroom, it's in my house. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I'm always down for an adventure. Fuck it, right? So I didn't have, my ex at the time was picking up my kids, so I had some time. I had thought, honest to God, I'd be there like maybe 30 minutes, an hour at the most. I was there for 7 hours. 7. So I pulled up, and I drove the 40 minutes. I was running late, and she's like, you get here when you get here, which is nice because I follow dawn time. I don't live in reality time. I'm working on it though. So I pull in, and I'm expecting like a crystal lady, like tall, skinny usually. They got hippie cool clothes, like they're gray hair. Like that's every crystal lady I've ever seen. And this beautiful, chubby, like crazy haired, just wearing a rock t-shirt lady comes out, and she's like, hey bitch. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I called her on the way, and she sounded super nice. I was like, I'm sorry I'm running late. She's like, no, it's okay. She's like, so it's in my house. And like, my daughter called, and she's like, where are you at, mama? And I was like, I'm going to a woman's house to look at crystals. And she was like, what? And I was like, yep, I'm on my way, here we go. So and the crystal shop was actually in her barn. It was beautiful. It was so beautiful. This woman was organized, clean, amazing choices, decent prices, just awesome, right? As soon as I walked up to her, though, Stevie Nicks is playing in the background. Stevie's my queen. She just instantly hugs me, and she's like, you smoke? And I was like, some things, yeah. And she's like, okay, come on in. She's like, you want some goulash? And I was like, maybe. She's like, you want an apple? I just went and got this bushel of apples. And I was like, okay, I like apples. So we go and sit down. She's like, I need you to know we had a past life together. And I'm new to this. I'm like a baby spiritualist. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she starts like telling me all about my life. And I was like, and she was spot on. I mean, gifted woman, gifted. I went to buy crystals. Okay. I went to buy crystals. So it keeps going. And she tells me about her past life. We were together in Salem, and she calls her friend, who's like her best friend. And she's like, you got to come meet Dawn. You got to come meet Dawn. You got to meet her. She's amazing. She's home. She's with us. She tells me like she loves me, that I belong there. I found my coven. I found my group. And it felt really good. I got invited the next day to this flower arranging thing with a bunch of like 40 witches are coming. I was like, oh, okay. Okay, cool. I came to buy crystals. And we keep going. She keeps talking. She's like, okay, let's go to my house. Let's go to my house. So we go in her house. There's 4 pugs just attack me, like, with love. But like, she's like, you're an animal. And as soon as she told me, she's like, and I believe this too. I'm an animal empath. I'm an animal's like psychic. We'll get into that another day, because I sound nuts when I talk about it a little bit to people that don't believe, but I believe. It's just, something that happens. And she's like, they can hear, like, they always know when people, she's like, they normally don't like people, but she's like, but they love you because they know you can talk to them. And I was like, okay, like, I got scratches on my legs from these pugs still. And they were super cute though. And then there's like a couple cats, and I love cats, I love dogs. And she feeds me some goulash. And then she knew I drink milk, and I drink water and milk. I don't drink anything else. And she knew I drank milk, which is weird because it's like, most people don't offer milk right off the, like, she had pop, she had juice, she had everything. And she's like, you like milk? And I was like, how do you know that? So she cast a demon out of me in the kitchen. I don't know. I do believe I have negative entities for sure. Like, they like to follow my light. And then after she did that, she opened her fridge, and I swear to God, like 50 things fell out on top of her. She's like, those demons. And so then she offered me an apple, and then her dog threw up on the floor. Yeah. And then we went outside, and that land did feel very weird. And she told me a bunch of crazy stories. And then we went back inside, and she sat me down in a room, and she goes, this was my grandma's room. She died in here. You're sitting on her bed, next to her bed. She uses it as a table. And I was like, my hand, like, I was like kind of sitting on it a little bit. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. She's like, no. She's like, my grandma's behind you, and she wanted you to sit there. And I was like, okay, I'll sit there. Does she like me? And she's like, yeah, she loves you. She thinks you're awesome. Your energy's awesome. And then her friend comes like running in from nowhere. Just her friend Lori. And in the meantime, 2 other random guys showed up. One brought her groceries. The other one just went and watched TV. I don't know who they were. Okay. And she's telling me, you know, psychic things about herself and about me and her dead grandma, who's standing next to me apparently, which I believe. I do. And then her friend comes in, an older lady, and she just rushes in. And she's like, I got here fast. You said there's a demonic possession. And there is something negative in my house, and we had kind of been talking about it. I didn't realize she told her best friend. So she comes running in. She's like, okay, I'm here. And then she hands her like a handful of bay leaves. Okay. I'm still new to this, so I'm like, okay, there's crystals like everywhere at this room of dead grandma's room. And the things I get into. I went to buy crystals, you guys. Crystals. I don't know. I'm just going with it. Okay, I'm cool. I'm down. I like an adventure. This was a big one. And so the lady comes, and she's like, I need you to stand up. And I was like, she's shorter than me, because I'm 5'9". I was like, okay. She's this older lady. She's got these intense blue eyes. And she like puts her hands on my shoulder, and she's like, just breathe. And I was like, okay. And then she looks me dead in the eyes for like 10 minutes. I'm not exaggerating that at all. And I saw her eyes change colors. Like, it was blue, but it was like different shades of blue. I don't know what happened. My soul felt weird. I felt weird. She's like, there, at the end of the 10 minutes, complete silence too, by the way, while we're staring into each other's eyes, a complete stranger. She goes, there, do you feel better? And I did, not sure why. And I was like, yeah, I do, thank you. I was like, your eyes do some intense things. She's like, I know. And then they went and whispered to each other, and they're like, let's go out to the barn. I have no idea what happened. I have no idea what the point was. I have no idea what it did. So then we go out to the barn. This is like 3 hours in, four maybe. And then she calls her daughter. She's like, you gotta come meet Dawn. You gotta come meet Dawn. And I bought a necklace that her daughter had made with a stone in it, which I forgot at home. And this is a long story. So her daughter comes. Her daughter's in her pajamas, which she's like, she didn't want to come because she was in her pajamas. I was like, I don't care if you're in pajamas. I wear pajamas. I love pajamas. Pajamas are the best. She was awesome. She was a very cool lady. So her and I talked for a while. It gets crazier than that. So if you want to hear like part 2 about how they told me like why I need to leave my ex and the shit he's up to, and how long it took me to buy fucking crystals, that's like literally half the story. It gets crazier. It gets a lot crazier. So that's my point. It's like, anything people tell me, I'm down for. Like, I love to listen. I don't judge. I've been through some shit. I have no right to judge anybody. Nobody's better than anybody. We're all here just trying to survive. So if you want to reach out for my listening service, email me, send me a message. I'd love to hear what you have to say and be there for you if you need someone to talk to, because you can't talk to anybody else in your life. Sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger. Most times, actually, in a lot of ways, it's easier to talk to a stranger than it is the people we love the most, especially if it's a difficult conversation or a difficult subject or something you just don't want anybody to know, but you can't live with it on your chest anymore. Give it to me. I'll transmute it. I'm down for it. So if you listen to my crystal story, and I don't know who will, I don't know if anybody cares, but if you want to hear part 2, it gets crazier. I went to buy crystals, 7 hours. It was a fun time though. I would do it again. A lot of Stevie Nicks played, so I feel like I was meant to be there. I don't know. Anybody else like Stevie Nicks? She's my queen. I hope you guys are having a great day. Here's my nails. I'm getting my thumb is molting. I don't know what the fuck that is. But I am getting my nails done tomorrow. This is ghosts and mushrooms. There they are. There you go. My nail lady is incredible. A lady named Rose. Yeah. So if you have a similar story where you went to buy crystals and then people cast demons out of you and fed you goulash, I would love to hear it. Bye guys. Have a good day.